Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will start looking at capital letters. I will be teaching letters from this book called The Art of Cursive Penmanship. It was written by master penman Michael Saul and published last year. If you've watched my earlier video on lowercase letter, you should see that our style are quite similar. Michael Saul's capital letters are very clean and crisp. They are not designed to be calligraphy, but intended for daily use, which is exactly what this channel is about. Also, some letters have very elegant Spencerian forms, so I'm going to show those too. Feel free to choose whichever you prefer. The uppercase A has two strokes. The first stroke is a counter, and the second stroke is a stem followed by a hairline exit. And as always, the stem should always be consistent with the slant, and overall the letter should fit nicely into a parallelogram. One mistake I often made is not closing the counter. This can happen when I try to make the counter bigger. On the other hand, if the counter is too narrow, it can cause the letter to look too skinny. Also, make sure that the counter does not merge into the stem too early. It should at least cross the X height before merging into the stem. The Spencerian variation completes the letter in a single stroke. The downstroke is a heavy pressure stem, and the tail crosses the spline at the X height. The upstroke is a light pressured spline. Don't make it a straight line, otherwise the letter would look like a triangle. The spline should be flexible, but not without tension. The turning point at the top should not be a sharp angle. If you blow up the proportion, you will see that the two lines actually merge slowly into the turning point. The uppercase letter B has one downstroke and two counters. The downstroke should be consistent with the slant, and if you connect the tangent line of the two counter, it should also follow the slant. One mistake is making the upper counter too short. This can turn your letter into a triangle. Another mistake is to make the upper and lower counter the exact same size. Even though the height should be the same, the upper counter should be actually thinner than the lower one. The uppercase C has two ovals. The smaller oval starts at the top, and the larger oval goes all the way to the baseline. If you extend the larger oval, you should be able to close the oval and make a balanced oval shape, like capital O. The inner oval and the outer oval should share the same axis, and the axis should follow the slant. Try not to make the first oval too fat. This will cause the outer oval to be just as fat. Another thing to avoid is pointing the exit stroke outward. Always imagine that the exit stroke should go all the way back to the top to complete the oval shape. The uppercase D has only one stroke. It starts with the spline, followed by a light pressured counter that crosses itself at the top. There are two anchor points at the top and two anchor points at the bottom. Make sure that they all touch the right line. This area is divided into two balanced parts. The two parts are not exactly the same, but they are visually balanced. As you can see in the model letters, this area is critical in balancing the left and right of the letter, none of which should dominate the other, even as the size of the counter changes. This letter might look okay to an untrained eye. It has the correct slant, and the left and right are balanced. But the problem is, it is too fat compared to the correct form. When the two enclosed areas are not balanced, you can easily end up with a triangular-shaped letter. Remember that the main body of letter D should always look like an elongated melon instead of a triangle. This is one of the most complicated letters, and it has a lot of variation, but I suggest we start with the easiest. And finally, don't forget to practice. You don't need to make every letter perfect, but you do need to enjoy your practice session. You can find the guide sheet in the description below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.